I'll just introduce myself. So, what about me? I am Raad Al Hamoud, pronounced in my mother tongue language, which is Arabic. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia at an American school, so hence the accent. And then I got into medical school here in Saudi Arabia as well. Graduated from here too. And then I went through internship. And through my internship, I've got the beautiful chance of knowing about AMO. And then I booked 2 rotations, 2 months of a hands-on experience with them. So how did I actually hear about AMO? It was through one of the universities which my friends are studying at, Faisal University, their partnership with AMO. So they told me about AMO at that time. And then when I was doing my internship at the hospital, I was having a break and then I was all on my phone on Instagram. And then I found this advertisement about AMO and that I can actually do my clinical experience in the US in a very like short time period. So I was like, is this thing for real? Is it actually a thing? Is it legitimate? And I was like, well, let's just try this. I mean, they have a partnership with one of the very well-known universities in our part. Hey, Ashley. So why not give it a try? And then, yeah, I went over, I pressed the link, and then I created my own account. I browsed the rotations, and then I was kind of hesitant, kind of nervous about the whole idea and what kind of like specialties I want to introduce myself to, and just trusted the process and went through the whole thing. So I was assigned then an AMO coach, and that coach guided me through everything. So if you're actually like nervous about how to get into the US and actually don't know what to include yourself in and how is it going to be like, you just create this account on AMO Opportunities website and get yourself a coach, and from there he will or she will lead you. So I was led, and then I came to the conclusion of actually choosing a dermatology rotation and another one, which was a family medicine rotation. And then I was like, well, why not? Let's go. Because I've already tried surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics, what else? OB-GYN, emergency. So mostly they all were about like inpatient care and the emergency department. So like something that's, all about being in a trauma center and, emergency cases. So these two specialties were mostly like an outpatient kind of, oriented rotation. And yeah, thank you, Rinad. So yeah, it was like more oriented about like an outpatient kind of environment. And I went and I was like, okay, let's do this. So it was all about the outpatient experience, like having patients come into the office. Yay, that's my presentation. So yeah, way to USA with AMO. So yeah, I wanted to actually know what is it like to have an outpatient experience and actually know what is it like in the US. So I believe that family medicine and dermatology are going to help a lot with this. And thanks to my coach at the time, was cool. He was Jordan. He helped me through the whole process and the choosing thingies. Why AMO? So first of all, I chose my rotations to be hands-on. And I know that some of you think, how do can you actually do and a hands-on experience without having your USMLE? Well, thanks to AMO, actually you can, because you're gonna pay like an extra, um, amount of money for malpractice insurance and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry with that. I was actually thrilled to know about that. So it would be actually smart of you to create your free account and actually take the privilege of the options you have online. So yeah, I chose it to be more of like an outpatient kind of orientation kind of environment. My dermatology rotation was both, which was it had an outpatient part and also an inpatient consultation part. So my preceptor and I would be doing consultations at the hospital and the same time seeing patients as an outpatient at the office. Why did I choose actually AMO? It's like actually choosing a personal trainer, you know? So when you choose a personal trainer, you already know like how to go to the gym and what to do at the gym and what to eat and what not to eat. But having a personal trainer will actually lead you better to have, you know, the ultimate body shape you're dreaming of and stuff like that. So AMO was kind of that thing for me. I know some students prefer to just go all on their own and stuff like that, but AMO was like the backbone. They were like my people. They were like my family in the US, especially that it was my very first time going there and was really overwhelmed about everything. And I barely knew a thing about the place I'm going to, which was in Florida, Fort Lauderdale and Boca Raton. So yeah, AMO was my personal trainer for the whole experience, and they helped me throughout the process. So I was introduced to the IMG friendly specialties by my coach, and he was like, you can choose from these because these are the most you know, common programs that actually IMGs get accepted at. And he was like, nothing is impossible. We know dermatology is hard, okay, plastic surgery is hard, but you can actually still get a chance. So when I figured something out online, is that the higher the price of the rotation, the better it is, most of the time, because it'll have like a residency program, and it'll be most likely in a hospital. So it takes them more, it costs more to actually reserve a seat in such places. So my dermatology rotation was with a dermatology attending, and actually he was the program director. And thanks God, alhamdulillah, he really loved how I worked with him. So I kind of like built a nice connection, and that was another thing I loved about the whole AMO idea. So yeah, I chose AMO because they helped me throughout the process. They did not. I mean, it usually takes a lot of time if you want to choose like a rotation and do your experience. I mean, like an elective rotation, an elective US rotation in the US. But thank you. So AMO actually takes this, you know, 6 months period, like a whole year period, into like just a few days and actually a month. For me, it took about like 2 months. I think it was like a month and a half until I actually got all my papers in order and I actually reserved a seat, and I was in the US in no time. They helped me with my visa, they helped me with the paperwork, they helped me get my, you know, dean's letters from my university. They led me through everything. So, like some documents, I did not actually understand what are they about. I think it was the dean's letter, and then they actually gave me a printout, like this is how it should look like. And I was so thankful because that made my life way easier. So yeah, there are some privileges. That's why. And there's this interesting topic. What happened during my time? It was through the time of COVID-19. So most students who went all on their own, they were actually startled and unlucky because, you know, during COVID-19, hospitals wouldn't want some students even roaming around and doing, you know, unnecessary stuff and stuff like that. So most rotations got canceled for those students who went on their own. I heard some stories. They're really sad and scary. But for me, I was lucky enough that I had AMO on my back, and one of my rotations actually got canceled, and they right away found me another rotation that was even closer to my training site. So it was pretty smooth, and it was, um, thanks God, smart of me of choosing AM at the moment. So more of my experiences there. Okay, so now let's go through the slides. So these are the IMG friendly specialties. Pretty much, I know that you guys know that, maybe even more than I do. So nothing is impossible. You can see top three are like internal medicine, family medicine, and then pediatrics, psychiatry, pathology, and so it follows. Can you go to the next slide, please? So according to the American Medical Association, pathology comes first, and then internal medicine, and then family medicine, and then neurology. So if you're interested in any of those specialties, you better, you know, hurry up and have your thumbs up, and you're most likely going to have more chances than other people to actually join one of these residency programs. And let's go to the next slide. So yeah, there are also research. I came to know that there are also research opportunities while I'm doing my rotations. You know, I was introduced to other students, other residents, and I have some pictures now I'm gonna share with you guys, and they told me all about them. So yay, there it is. So I did some procedures there. Like, for example, it was my very first time doing some phlebotomy work. So blood withdrawal, you can see the upper left picture over there, the tubes and the tourniquet and the stress ball and all of that. It was really a very nice experience. And I actually was good at it. Like patients started asking for my name, like we want Dr. Raad to come and take the blood sample for us. And I was like, wow, really? Am I that good? It's really made me feel so confident about myself and want me to actually, you know, join a residency program as soon as possible. You know, just the feel of it, like you're still a medical student and you found yourself good at something. I was really thankful for, I mean, everyone who made this chance possible. And then on the right of that, you can see here the ER doctor, he was an attending. I think his name was Dr. Smith. Anyways, these were other two students with me, medical students. One of them was from Chile and the other one was from Colombia. So the doctor from Chile, she was 55 years old and she does not mind sharing her age with the world because she's proud of it. She does not look her age. She just came from Chile and she had this love story that she actually went and US to join her, you know, first love, and she decided to continue in the US, and she was with us. She actually did not have the perfect English, but it was still not like a problem for her because everyone was very supportive and they knew that she's an international medical graduate and they were like helping her get the words. As long as she understands what patients are saying, she will definitely know how to try her best to communicate with them, and it was not actually a thing. So if you're having this, you know, fear of, oh my God, I have this language barrier, it's not my mother tongue, and don't have the accent, it should not be a problem. Believe me, guys, just take a chill pill, relax. And as they say it in Spanish, tranquilo. It's not actually a very, you know, important thing for you to worry about. Even if you were like a Muslim, I had some other students that were coming back and forth. They were hijabis, and it was totally fine. Everyone was so friendly. Everyone was so understanding, and they really appreciate that you're like a student who left his or her home country, traveled overseas just to get the chance to learn about stuff in the US and the healthcare system and actually take care of you know, U.S. citizens and people who are sick and make them feel better about their overall health. So there are other pictures during break times because I was in Florida. We were near the shore, so we would just go to the beach and take some pictures. That was on the lower right side, and the lower left side, that was one of the puppies of Marcela Quintana, one of the medical assistants. She's actually now my best friend. She just had her baby. And the one in the middle, there is Marcela Quintana. I don't know if you can actually see her. She's on the very far left upper line of those people around. That was my dermatology rotation. The phlebotomy work was during my family medicine rotation. Family medicine was really amazing. Oh my God, there's a lot to speak about in just like 45 minutes. Family medicine, I actually get to know about more about family medicine. It has a wide variety of like subspecialties, like sports medicine, dermatology. You can actually continue as a subspecialty from family medicine. Because in family medicine, I saw like a wide range of cases, OB/GYN cases, psychiatry cases, dermatology cases. What else? The only thing I didn't encounter was pediatrics because I guess there was another center that next to us that takes more care of, you know, the little ones. Literally all kinds of cases came over. In my dermatology rotation, it was more of like a hands-on. I had more hands-on because it's all about, you know, procedures, you know, excisions. Of course, not like Botox and stuff. I was not actually interested in that kind of stuff. Only about like lipoma extraction. There are like abscess, incision, and drainage. Skin cancers. I actually got to know that there was a dermatology subspecialty that's called Mohs surgeon. So there was a subspecialist swinging by the office every now and then. Her name was Dr. Sliker. She was the most amazing person ever. She gave me her card and she told me if you needed to attend any other conventions, please let me know. I'll be happy to have you and stuff around that. She introduced me to Most Surgeon. You can actually search this subspecialty. It's really nice. But unfortunately, at the time, COVID happened, so not much conventions were happening at the time. But anyways, before that, the hospital had some conventions and stuff around that. My attending was like, if you really want to go and attend them, please feel free to do so. And he was updating me about stuff. So you just actually show your attending that you're actually interested in what you're doing. Don't fake anything, just yourself, be confident, and don't worry. They know you're a student and that you actually are still learning. So there's no breather in having anything going wrong or a mistake, just not like a very huge mistake. It's okay. The attending or the people around you will just be more than happy to teach you. I was led through each and every step of that. So you just show them that you're like a sponge and you're willing to absorb whatever information they're giving you, and most importantly, also show them that you're progressing. So halfway through your rotation, so try like the first 2 weeks, that's half of your rotation, because like a rotation is about 4 months. Okay, since it starts like the day one, you just count 4 more weeks, and then that will be like a whole rotation. So halfway, you just make sure you're doing everything right by booking an appointment with your attending. Just be friends with them, tell them, I want just to talk to you about how am I doing now? Am I doing everything like you're expecting me to do? Am I showing progress? Does that imply that I can actually get a letter of recommendation from you, doctor? Can you please secure that for me? I would love to have it because as I'm willing to later on apply for a residency program, it would really help me, and just stuff like that. So I got thanks God, I got like 3 letters of recommendations, although there were only 2 rotations, because as I've told you, there are some attendings that will be like swinging by your office or like the hospital. So it's on you to show them that you're special and show them that you're interested, and they will just be more than happy to you know leave a print in your life and your medical journey and give you a letter of recommendation. So Kelly, if we can go to the next slide as well, there are even more pictures. Yeah, so I not only enjoyed my medical journey out there and my medical experience, I actually made a lot of friends. These were the medical assistants, the large picture on the left. Um, they were just amazing. That was like Taco Tuesday in Florida and Las Olas, and it was really nice. I was still new here, so they were like trying to make me feel like I'm a part of the family. This is like what it is actually in America, especially in the medical field. Everyone's super mellow and friendly. I don't know if it's Florida, but it was amazing. So on the right side, upper right side, that is Elsa and Arelis and Dr. L. That was at the family medicine rotation. It was about the last day, so we were taking some pictures. And on the lower left, that was one of the conventions. So it was like a lunch and learn kind of session. Luckily, it was before COVID hit the whole thing, so I enjoyed that as well. Sometimes medical representatives just come across by the office or the hospital, and they will do just like some special stuff. You'll know about that later on. But yeah, that's how that was what like my experience had even more things. So I did procedures. Yeah, we also actually practiced the step 2 clinical skills part when it was still like not advertised that it's canceled. So you actually can have sessions with with the other medical students, just be friends with them, and then take advantage of that. You're all aspiring to be U.S. Residents, and actually practice together whatever you guys would love. For example, you can practice the OAT together. You can actually share experiences and tell each other about it, because it's not always the same order. Sometimes people do OET first and then they do step one first. Sometimes people do step two first and then step one first. You know how it goes. So I shared experiences with the other students that were there at the training site. So yeah, one of the other procedures was stitching. My doctor Obed taught me how to stitch even better as a dermatologist with the plastic surgery, stitching kits, and it was amazing. So everyone was friendly, and that's how you kind of secure an LOR. You just try to make sure you're showing progress. You just try to show that you're like a sponge and ready to absorb whatever is being given to you. And they don't mind you practicing your religion. I was kind of like, nervous about that, to be honest. Yeah, because as a Muslim, you pray like 5 times a day, and I was working from like 7 a.m. until 5. So that includes 2 times of the prayer times of my religion. So they made sure I had like a secure spot for me to pray in, and I was so thankful for that, to be honest. So yeah, don't mind any kind of religious issues. They're just cool with it as long as you're a doctor and they respect your brain. It's This is how US works. It's very multicultural, very multi-religious, multi everything. It's very diverse. I love it. And can we do the second slide? I think there's still one more slide. Yeah, and these are even more pictures. So that's Arelis during COVID, the very far right side. We were fully equipped, the masks and goggles and stuff. And the middle upper side, there's this whiteboard where Elsa was explaining how did she study for her step one, and she explained some topic, and it was really explanatory and very nice. And then on the upper left side, that's Arelis and Elsa. We took some pictures by the beach again. And then on the lower left side, that was my dermatology rotation with the medical assistants. As you can see, we were all wearing the same t-shirts and there was a logo on it. All of us went for a run, you know, in the city. It was really nice and it made me feel part of the family, even like it made me feel closer to them even more since the gyms were closed at the time and COVID hit. So we were like, why not just do a street walk or like a street run all together like a family? And we actually did that. It was really exciting and nice. So you don't actually only learn some medical stuff, you actually enjoy the whole thing. I love this about my experience, to be honest, in the US. It's like you do work, and then in the weekends you do actually party and have a lot of fun, and you make friends at the same time and you build connections at the same time. So this medical assistant knows this doctor that some other you know other offices, and it just go like you it builds your whole connection. And on the lower left side, we went to the, I think, Sawgrass Mills. There was a mall there, and they actually had some Arabic food, hummus, falafel, and tabbouleh, which was my favorite. I'm a flexitarian, by the way, so plant-based diet. And what else? Yeah, shish taouk and kebab. I made them taste all of that food, and they were thrilled, and their minds were blown. They loved everything about it. And that was actually like my fourth or fifth day into my rotation. They were like, let us take you and enjoy them all. Again, that was still before COVID hit, so I still enjoyed some time. Can we go to the next slide, Kaylee? So yeah, good luck to all of you. I wish you all have amazing US experiences. Don't be, let me tell you this, don't be turned off by the experiences of other students. Remember, AMO gives equal and fair chances to all international medical graduates. So there are all types of students. There are the very good ones, there are the average ones, and there are the, on the lower side ones. So maybe a student is actually not that good, and they managed to get their US clinical rotations cured, and they went to the US, and the attendings were not really very happy from them. So they probably were not, satisfied about the whole experience, but you still should give yourself a chance to actually go and try the rotation for yourself. My experience is not necessarily going to be like, someone else's experience. So take advantage of this, available chance. It is legitimate. Um, it's worth every penny I paid, to be honest, and it saved me a lot of time. It was so secure, and the whole process was so smooth. So if someone's gonna ask me, do you recommend AMO or not? I would definitely say yes, especially if you don't have anyone in the US and you don't actually know anyone in the US, you can actually build your own kingdom through AMO. I'm still friends with the attendings. I'm still texting them. I'm still, updating them about my, status. Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I now at? And they were just like, just finish your steps, and we promised you a lot of stuff. So it does actually help you build yourself, even if you don't know anyone in the US. And I do advise you to create your accounts now for free on AMO's website, and just take advantage of it. It's for free. Why not just use that feature? I'm actually saying that because I myself would have loved someone like me now speak about their experience and actually know how it was like in the US. Someone that's gonna calm my racing heart a little. Someone that's gonna calm me from not being, overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed. It's pretty mellow. They know you're a student, I'm telling you again, and that you're there, you traveled overseas, and probably you're gonna be all alone. So they're gonna try their best to be your family. Just, be yourself, and a friendly person will always be welcome anywhere on planet Earth, I believe. So yeah, I did family medicine and dermatology. You can think of other specialties. Some other friends did internal medicine, and they actually continued, doing their internal medicine rotations over there. And for the letters of recommendation, as I told you, halfway through your rotation, just make sure you're doing everything right, and that you're showing progress, and that your attending is happy from you. And if you did anything wrong, it's okay. Just say you're sorry and move on. They'll appreciate you saying sorry. And most likely you're secure in LOR. So yeah, wish you all the best, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session. And I actually became so excited and interested in learning even Spanish, because Florida was all about, Latinos and Latinas. So I'm trying to learn some Spanish. Yo hablo español poquito poquito. I also always thought that I look like Latinos, so it's a plus one if you have some other languages on your CV when you're applying for residency programs, even if it was Arabic or Hindi or no matter what other language. So yeah, as an international medical graduate, knowing other languages is a thumbs up, because, as I told you, USA is very diverse and multicultural. So that'll be a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please feel free to follow me on my Instagram. I can answer whatever questions you want. Rado96, RA3DO96. Feel free to ask me whatever you want, and hopefully I'll be able to answer you. It's just that now I'm doing this, I'm still new to this residency program. It's a transitional year, so I'm kind of, overwhelmed about the responsibilities I have. So I'll answer whenever I have the time. So, what questions do we have? How you decide what specialty to settle with? So, or you mean like from the chat box? I've actually answered that question. You just try to assign yourself a coach, and they will lead you through that. Like, they'll ask you questions. What are you interested in? Hands-on, doing stuff with your hands, or just uh thinking more in your head, just like internal medicine or surgery kind of thing. Family medicine, but you're currently yeah, so that's actually a nice question. So yeah, I did family medicine and dermatology, as I've told you, to know what is it like, um, to be in an outpatient environment. So I got that. That was the goal. And now I'm currently in a situation where I'm kind of hesitant. I'm still hesitant, like what residency program I should actually join. So I was like, let me try internal medicine because, internal medicine is like the mother of medicine. I don't want other specialties to be, mad, or anyone who's interested in other specialties to be mad. But internal medicine is actually, includes a lot of diseases and stuff. So it's a good, actually a good program to join, in my opinion, now, especially that it's a transitional year. It's not like a 4-year kind of residency program. So yeah, I'll be reviewing my medical topics and refresh them and get, better in doing my steps. And then I'll, take off to the specialty I really love. I think that's gonna even give me more time to get the feeling of what specialty I want. So can we submit LORs from other specialties? So what I did is my dermatology attending asked me, what do you want your letter of recommendation geared for? And I was like, I would love it to be geared for a residency program, not like a specific specialty, as I still was not sure what specialty I want. So they made it very genuine, speaking about me as a future resident, and me as a person, my personality. Am I cooperative? Am I absorbent? Am I, mannerful? And that is what my letter of recommendation mentioned. And he literally said he will be suitable for the whatever residency program you actually have, and he would be a great part of your team, and please contact me if you have any questions. And people already know whenever they search him that he's a dermatologist. So if I was applying for a dermatology rotation, I mean residency program, they will know that, well, he was under a very well-known dermatologist. So yeah, whenever you do a specialty and you're not sure, like if you really want that specialty, you just want to gain the experience and actually get people to know you, like who you really are, just make sure to tell your attending that, I want this geared towards, securing a residency program, no matter what the specialty is. But of course, if you have the specialty in mind, it would be even better. So I'm just saying, yeah, you can, but just not, make them mention, for example, specifically family medicine or specifically dermatology. All LRs I've got, they just mentioned Raad did like a dermatology rotation with us, and we believe he would be a best, team player, or like a good part of your residency program, no matter what, the specialty was. So that was one question. Vrinda, as a resident going to you wish you had done something, other tips? Okay, that's even a nicer question. So, have I wished that, if I have done something differently in the application process? Well, actually, yeah, it's to start early. The earlier you start, the better. So, whenever you start, preparing for your process earlier, things go even smoother. In my time, everything went pretty much smooth, but I was kind of, it made me very nervous, because I even applied for an emergency appointment for my visa, my interview. So it was kind of hectic, and I was scared, about kind of some stuff, and getting my HBA, the HBV, hepatitis V vaccine. I had to have all vaccines taken, so I had some vaccines still not taken, and I was scared I'm not gonna finish at the same time. So yeah, I would have started earlier and planned for that even better. For me, it was just like a snap. I swear to God, it was on Instagram, and just after 1 month, I was in the US, and I was just so astonished, to be honest. So, do you like to listen to you? I felt like I was listening to a friend. Oh, thank you, Sabine. Uh, can you please touch on the coast aspect of your experience? Yeah, I told you. So it coasted me about so I'm a person who actually loves to shop and stuff like that. So it probably was kind of expensive. My rotations for dermatology rotation was about $3K, plus minus. I can't really remember. That was about like, 1.5 years ago. And the other rotation was about the same price. So they were a little pricey. Why? As I've told you, because it was because I did them with people who actually can secure me a residency program. So when you do it in a place that actually can secure you a residency program, it is going to cost more. Okay, it's going to cost AMO more to actually secure that seat. Sometimes, in other aspects, it would be hard for you to secure such a seat if you don't have your USMLE done, or something like that. So there are when you're like searching for a rotation on the website, just make sure that, for example, that place has a residency program. If you're actually willing to continue in the US and do a residency program, or if you just want to go there for just the US experience itself, then it would not actually matter for you. You can just choose any place. It's going to be a little less, not pricey. The price is going to be, average price to like even cheaper ones, since it's not going to actually cost a lot, because it's going to be like just a head-to-head relation. The doctor is going to be the one who's responsible about you, and of course that doctor is also going to have some connections. So in the end, it's a win-win. I'm just telling you, you can see the reviews of the rotations. Other students, what have they said about those rotations? You can actually ask your coach. That's why the coaches, again, I'm stressing on the coach, him or herself, because they actually are your um windows through which you can see the US and the whole program thingy. You just trust them and ask them, I want like a residency program that's well reputed. I want the residency, a rotation that's well reputed, a site that actually can secure me a residency program later. So you just tell them what you want, and they will help you with that. Just ask them for legitimate rotations. And to be honest, most or like all rotations that AMO are having partnerships with are actually good ones. So, and they're IMG oriented and friendly. So you just ask your coaches for more details, and I promise you'll have every detail you want. Just don't worry about that. So again, cost wise, it depends on you as a person if you know how to save money or not. For me, I think I spend a lot of money. So sorry, mom and dad, they paid a lot of money for me. So I just said about the rotations cost. Yeah, bearing in mind, actually, you brought something up. So the accommodation, the transportation, all of these, lists, bullet points that you should actually check on your list. The coach helped me with. They helped me find accommodation. They help me find if that state has, public transportation or not, but they don't actually secure one. So when you pay for the rotation, it's just the rotation itself, not like the accommodation and transportation and stuff around that. It's all on you. So you just book your rotation, and then the coach is going to help you, or the advisor is going to help you find a nearby accommodation that's going to help you. For example, in my case, it was a very close accommodation that I took through Airbnb, and it was only a walking distance. So to walk back and forth from my, from my, let's say, house and the training site. It was like a 10-minute walk, and I enjoyed. It was like springish kind of season in Florida. It was spring break, and the weather was amazing. It was awesome. So I enjoyed the weather every time walking back and forth to the training site. And I think it would be better for you guys if you can actually find your training site and have the accommodation near you. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to make you more confident about the place you're living in, and enjoy, the states, especially if it was your first time like myself. So yeah, and transportation, some states, public transportation is just perfect, like New York City, and in other states, like in Florida, it's like the tourist attraction states. It's like the retirement states for veterans. So mostly people there are like very rich. So public transportation is not very well implemented. There are some buses, but they're not like always there. The timings differ, because what's the point? No one's using them. So I used to walk. I walked a lot, and it was nice. I loved it. You can walk miles and never feel it, because I don't know. I was maybe probably it was because I was very excited about the whole thing. I was having the time of my life. So yeah. I hope you guys I could go talking forever. So I gotta stop. So for you guys to listen to the other speakers, and wish you all the best, and please feel free to reach me out on my Instagram media, and I would be more than happy to help you whenever I have the time to.